What's going on, boys? Quinn69 here. How you guys doing today? If you haven't guessed it already, this is going to be another video on the BFA Alpha. We're going to be specifically talking about the Island Expeditions. So, if you didn't see at BlizzCon, they announced these things called Island Expeditions. They kind of briefly went over it, didn't really show much gameplay. It's on the BFA Alpha now, and I played it a decent amount on stream. And I just want to give you guys an overview, kind of like my first impressions and how I feel about it, and is it going to be some sort of endgame, which might actually be fun, and not just a gimmick. So, if you don't know what they are and how they work, basically, you if you're a Horde or Alliance, you go to your main city in the new zone. There's a little table there. You can click on the table, and you can either queue up solo, and you'll get put with 2 other pugs, or you can queue up as a team of 3 players, yourself included. It is role agnostic, so you can be triple DPS, triple tank. I mean, you can be triple healer. I don't know if I'd suggest that, but yeah, pretty much it's role agnostic. In terms of my experience on the island, I would say either tank 2 DPS or healer 2 DPS seemed to be the best setup, because it was all about not getting, killing as many mobs and doing as many objectives as possible without being dead, and you either need a tank or a healer to do that. But anyway, you queue up and you get put on an island. So you arrive on the island, and every single monster there's like a bunch of things walking around doing stuff. You can just start killing stuff. It's kind of like an arcade game almost. You can just start killing anything you see in sight. They all give Azeroth. The team that gets to 6,000 Azeroth first wins. Okay. Now, there's a little bit more to it than that. There's these nodes on the map, and the mini-map, and they're spread out sporadically, and they spawn randomly, and all the creatures on the island are not the same. They're randomly generated every time, so it's like kind of, they're trying to make like an infinite replayable kind of thing, which you're going to queue into, right? And these special nodes are like the most efficient way to play the game, right? You see there's like big nodes that are worth heaps, kind of like, smaller nodes out in Africa that are worth less. You're gonna have to strategize where you're gonna go and how you're gonna win. And these nodes can be anywhere from, like, it can just be a chest you just need to loot. It can be a monster which you need to kill. It can be something you need to almost do a quest for to help out. Like, you need to go do something, get an item, come back to them, hand it in, whatever, set them free from a cage, etc. You're gonna get varying amounts of Azeroth. There's also kind of like at certain parts in the game towards the end, there's these special kind of like rift portals that spawn, kind of like almost like a rift guardian out of Diablo. I mean, I'm just saying, it's basically like a rift guardian, or something like, if you've ever played Dota, if you know what Roshan, like a big boss, yeah? You go through this portal, get in there, you kill that guy, he gives you an absolute crazy amount of Azeroth. But now, there's a huge amount of complexity added to it when you realize, okay, yeah, your Horde or your Alliance, your team is going out trying to get to the Azeroth cap first, which is 6,000. I mean, it's an arbitrary number, whatever. And you have to get to the cap first. But there's also another team trying to do the exact same thing. So now you might be like, wait, is that so? It's PvP? Question mark. Okay, so there is going to be a PvP mode where you will fight 3 other players who are trying to do the exact same thing as you. But I think the idea behind it is they're going to have a normal mode, heroic mode, and a mythic mode, right? So easy, medium, hard, basically. And I'm sure you're gonna get more, like, better rewards from doing mythic, and I don't know, and less for doing normal, whatever. But yeah, there's basically 3 modes. And now you might be like, oh, so what? There's gonna be NPCs on the enemy team, and they're gonna be walking around like just doing objectives like some kind of robot, and I guess the mythic guys will be stronger, like more HP or do more damage. Okay, no. The difficulty is based off how well they program or how difficult they make the AI. And I'm talking like, okay, this AI is like, I'll show you the gameplay. You have a look at the gameplay right now. This AI is nothing like I've seen before in World of Warcraft. They are creating bots, or, I don't know how I don't know if they're using machine learning or what's going on at Blizzard HQ. Maybe they're doing this as like a experiment. I don't know if they're using what's going on. But these players that are coming off the boat are jumping around like spastics, doing backpedaling, trying to like blind you and go for like go for the nodes, trying to do like if they're one of the 2 of their team members are dead, they start running away. They basically are not just NPCs. They are kind of like emulated players. I mean, if they just If it wasn't for the fact that these AIs that we're fighting had like, I mean, they were like Shadow Priest, Mage, Paladins, like in one character doing like, I don't even know. There was one Shadow Priest teleporting around doing Arcane Explosion and then also had wings up. I mean, I have no idea. I don't know what kind of, what the mythology or the lore is behind that or how the hell that works. I mean, it is early alpha, but I mean, dude, they have a look at the gameplay. The AI was insane, and it was really quite cool and quite unique. And you know, the fact that the island that you go to is you know, I think there's like 3 total islands that will be available, but right now on the alpha there's just 1. But the fact that everything in the island is randomized, all the mobs, all of the different, you know, themes, like the weather, everything, where the nodes spawn, the timings on the nodes, it's not going to be like presets, right? And the fact that the AIs are going to react differently every time, effectively it's going to be a infinite content, quote unquote, where you can go in and have a different experience every time. So this has huge potential in terms of, you know, in-game, you know, it could be, you know, you have Mythic Plus, you have Raiding, and now you have Island Expeditions. Okay, now the question is, when I was playing this, was I enjoying it as much as I would, say, a difficult dungeon, or say, you know, doing a difficult raid boss? It's hard to say, because it was just so easy. I mean, it's normal mode, and it's early alpha, and it has not very well tuned, but because it wasn't challenging, I myself, like, it just wasn't as fun. It's kind of like, a huge amount of potential for it to be amazing, and a huge amount of potential to be, you know, to be replayable. Like, I mean, think about this. We sit down, and I mean, I don't know, I sit down and I farm Mythic Plus, and I've done more Souls, like, literally thousands of times, right? And I still, for whatever reason, can enjoy that. And it's effectively the exact same thing with slightly different modifiers, and the mobs have slightly different HP values, you know? Like, it's really, you know, and I find that replayable as hell. Okay, now, consider this. You have, like, a Mora Souls, which completely readjusts every time you queue into it. The mobs that you're going to be, you know, queuing against are going to be randomized and different every time. Okay, it's not like the 3 AIs that you're going to be queued into are going to be the same ones every time. Sometimes you're going to get, like, you could have some, like, 3 rogues that are, or 3, like, stealthy dudes. Like, they have some guy called Pete or something who's, like, an absolute spastic AI, which goes around, like, stunning your healer up and blinding people and doing all this dodgy stuff, right? And or you can queue into some aggro tank comp where they've got whatever, right? They're gonna have randomized enemies, randomized. The island's gonna be completely, you know, different every time. I mean, effectively, this could be amazing in-game content. But for me, on the alpha, because it wasn't very difficult, and because there was no real rewards or incentive to do it, you know, like over and over again, I was just kind of like, eh. But at the same time, I can see the huge amount of potential that comes along with it. But anyway, guys, that was my kind of first impressions of the Island Expeditions. If you have any questions, queries, whatever, definitely check out my stream, and I can answer you live there at twitch.tv/Quinn69. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace the hell out, and I will see you later.